Hi and welcome. Now earlier this year I planted these potatoes for the first time. I tried planting potatoes in potato bags. These potato bags I got from the Home Depot, and I followed the instruction as close as I could to plant the potatoes, and now I am about to reap them and to show you what grew out of the bag this year, and also an experimental way in which I am going to preserve them for the winter. So these are the potato plants, and I'm just pulling them out. I purposely did not water this potato today because I was planning to take them out of the bag, and I didn't want the soil to be wet because I intend to reuse the soil as a way of preserving them for the winter. Now, a lot of people or individuals who have planted potato before, you know that sometimes keeping them, preventing them from, preserving them for the winter can be a little bit tricky. There's a lot involved in not only putting them in a container to keep them there, and I have tried a few different ways of preserving. I have tried just putting them in a bin, and this here is going to be just a simple experiment. If it works, then this will be my way for preserving potatoes and keeping them in the winter, preventing them from drying out. Now here I have a bin. It's a Rubbermaid. I am not sure exactly how much it holds, and I'll see how much potatoes holds in there. So the first thing that I did, or will be doing, is that I'll be taking some of the soil that the potato was grown in, and I'm going to sprinkle this to the bottom of the bin. Just like that. Just sprinkling the soil on the bottom of the bin. And as I've said before, this is just experimental. I've never really done this before, so I don't know how this is going to turn out. But I'll let you know. Closer to the spring, I'll let you know how it turns out. So I sprinkle the soil that it has been grown in. And then I am going to layer the potatoes. So far I have, and the potatoes are all small because of the fact that I had put a lot of different potatoes in the bag, and not all of them are small. Wow, this is awesome. And they're different varieties. These are the yellow kind, yellow and white potatoes. So I'm just going to layer them in this container. So I'm just going to layer them in this container. These are mainly yellow potatoes. Throwing them in the container. And there are different kinds of potatoes. These are white potatoes. I remember there's a farmer that lived in Prince George, and that's where I got these white potatoes from. And I saved some of them because I like to have different potato crops. This one looks like a Yukon Gold. It may be, it may not be. I am not sure what it is. So I layer them in the container, and I'll keep on doing that, layering it. And then what I'll do next, these I know are Russian fingerlings, and these are pretty small potatoes, and they're naturally small. See, this one shapes like a finger. So I put them in, and after I've put these into this bin, what I will do next is that I am going to add a layer of soil on top of it. So I'll be keeping them just this, similar to what they were when they were in the potato bags. And the difference is that they are not connected to the plants anymore. That's the only difference. And then I'll add some more soil on top of these potatoes. And my hope is that they'll stay fresh during the winter. They will stay nice and fresh and be nice and fresh when I am ready to use them instead of looking a little bit wilted. So I add the salt to it. And I love farming, I love agriculture, and I like to experiment with things because, as one person puts it, a lot of discoveries that were made was accidental. So you never know until you try it whether or not something is going to work. I put another layer of potatoes. Ooh. Now this one looks like the original potato that was planted. As you can see, even the color has changed. So I'm thinking that this is one of the original potatoes. But I could be wrong. Yeah. So I'll keep on adding my layers. And I know for sure that next year I'll have lots of potatoes. Whoa. And there is a worm. I do not know what that type of worm is. But it's some kind of grub that was in the bag. So it could be that it was in the soil. I don't know. I add more potatoes. Maybe even easier if I just dump it on the ground. But because I intend to use the soil, again, I don't want to dump it on the lawn and then have to do the task of picking it up. But it may just be easier than what I'm doing. Okay. I'm just gonna dump it. Whoa, and there's slug on the bag. Ooh. So this is the bottom of the bag, and there are slugs on it. But it doesn't really matter, because the slugs, I don't think they got into the potatoes. There are more potatoes that I'm getting. Whoa. And there are other creatures that are in this that may cause this experiment to be not such a good idea anymore. Anywho, so I will get rid of this bug and add more potatoes. So these are just some of the potatoes that I have grown this year. There's a nice purple potato. Very, very dark. Sometimes when I'm trying to find it, when I'm digging the ground to find it, it's a little bit hard to find because it's almost the same color as the soil, as you can see. So there's purple potato. There's a Yukon Gold. These are very very nice. They can be used for many different recipes. They're great for steaming with butter and onion and garlic. Yukon Gold, and these are the Russian fingerlings that I was talking about. They're very small. They're almost like the shape of a finger. They get to be a little bit longer than this, and maybe bigger if I had a bigger container for them to grow in. But I just used what I had, which was, I had my potatoes. I didn't want to throw them in the garbage, and I said, okay, why not try this? I see them advertising potato bags, and this is my potato harvest from just one bag, and I planted 4 of these bags. This is my harvest from one bag. Alrighty. So, as you can see, growing food, there is no limit to growing food. And there are many different things that you can use, whether you're living in the city or in the country area, and we are living in the city area. And so we don't have a lot of space to grow with. However, we use the space that we do have, and we improvise as we go along, and we learn as we grow along, because every year you learn something new. And this is what I have to share with you today. Thanks for watching.